Welcome time travelers, and welcome new time travelers, and happy Valentine's Day. As always, if you're new to this channel and enjoy learning about history, not only from the US but from other countries around the world, then don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into it. Today we're going to start in 1760 when Richard Allen, founder of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, was born in Philadelphia. 6 years later, in 1766, Thomas Methodist, the English economics and demographer best known for his theory that population growth will always tend to outrun the food supply and should be checked by stern limits on reproduction, is believed to have been born on this day. Moving on to 1779, when Captain James Cook was killed by Hawaiians in a dispute over a theft of a cutter. That makes me think of like the Peter Pan movies and like Hook and things like that. For those who are wondering when the telephone was patented, look no further back than 1876 when Alexander Graham Bell applied for a patent for the telephone. 1894 brought us American entertainer Jack Benny, whose unusual comedic method and expert timing made him a legendary success on radio and television, was born. 1920 brought with the establishment of women's suffrage in the United States. Carrie Chapman Catt founded the League of Women Voters in Chicago. 9 years later, in 1929, members of Al Capone's gang of bootleggers massacred a rival gang run by George Moore in Chicago during the Prohibition era. In 1942, Japanese parachutists landed on Sumatra and attacked Palenberg oil refineries. Now onto 4 events in 1946. The first event, the general purpose of high-speed electronic digital computer, the ENIAC, or the electronic numerical integrator and computer, was demonstrated to the public by its creator, J. Presper Eckert Jr. and John W. Munchley. The second event is American dancer, choreographer, and actor George Hines, a major figure in the revitalization of tap dancing in the late 20th century, was born. Now the third event is African-American dancer, choreographer, and actor George Hines was born in New York City. He became a major figure in the revitalization of tap dancing in the late 20th century. Sorry, this only has 3 events. Possibly, no, it actually only has 2 events. I'm sorry. This is why I need to read it before I just do. 1951 is when a Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System ordered loans for building commercial structures limited to 50% of the value. 1979 brought us President Carter arriving in Mexico to discuss several sensitive issues with Mexican President Jose Lopez Portillo, opening criticized past U.S. policies toward Mexico and the sudden interest it has shown in Mexico following the discovery of huge reserves of oil and natural gas. The Mexican president urged that the search for last solution to the fundamental problem, avoiding anything that would make us lose the respect of our children. On February 16th, it was announced that negotiations for the U.S. purchase of natural gas would begin in March. No conclusion was reached on the sale of Mexican oil, nor the delicate question of illegal immigration of Mexicans into the U.S. Agreements, however, were signed on significant and scientific and technological cooperation. On this day in 1989, Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran issued a fatwa and offering a bounty for an assassination of author Salem Rushdie, whose novel The Satanic Verse, published in 1988, Khamenei denounced its blasphemous. Moving on to 1991, when the psychological thriller The Silence of the Lamb was released in American theaters. Widely regarded as a classic, it won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Best Actor went to Anthony Hopkins, Best Actress went to Jodie Foster, and Best Director went to Jonathan Demme. I was talking to my grandmother, and apparently that's like a remake of a remake. Anyway, 2002 brought us the International Court of Justice, also known as the World Court, invalidates the Belgian law that gave Belgium the right to try war crimes committed by citizens of any nation against citizens of any nation. Not quite sure what that means. 3 years later, in 2005, Steve Chang, Chad Hurley, and Jawed Karim registered YouTube, a website for sharing videos. It would become hugely popular, with more than 1 billion unique users visiting the site every month. 2018 is when amid scandals and corruption allegation, South African President Jacob Zuma resigned and was later replaced by Cyril Ramaphosa. Today is Valentine's Day, the feast day of Saint Valentine, a priest and physician who was martyred about 270 CE in Rome, and the tradition of exchanging greetings of love on Valentine's Day is based on the legend that Valentine had signed a letter to his jailer's daughter, with whom he had fallen in love with. The ending said, "From your Valentine." With this, we return to 2024 and our current history. Until next time.